Do you consider yourself a modern or a traditional parent? Hey, stay tuned. In this video today, Cece and I are going to share some thoughts with you.
Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband.
Hey everybody, this is Willem, and welcome to another episode of the Blissology podcast. If this is your first time with us, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about
love, life, relationships, parenting.
Parenting, yes.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
whatever else is going on around the world, right? Whatever hot at the moment.
Any other stuff.
All right, guys. So before we get started, let's go into our blissful moment. Well, I have my girls, right? You guys know how much I love my daughters.
It's all about the kids.
You know, but it's not about the kid today. I mean, although they did something very sweet earlier, they keep hugging each other, you know, like before they went to bed earlier. We prayed as we do every night, and they hugged each other. You know, my husband's like, really?
Yeah.
He was like,
so
really?
You said your blissful moment is not about the kids, and who is it about?
It's not about you. It's not about
That's
you.
disappointing.
There's another family member in the household that we don't really talk much about.
Really?
It's Roxy.
Man, you talking about the guinea pig?
It's Roxy, guys. Listen, I love my guinea pig. I mean, the girl's guinea pig. It's not mine. It's kind of is mine because we take care of her. You know,
I'm forced to take care of her.
I feed her. Whenever she sees me, she gets happy. She knows that I'm bringing her food. And I don't think she likes my husband as much because you don't clean her as much as you should. Here's my blissful moment, guys. Yesterday morning, somehow she didn't come out at all. And I was like, okay. I keep an eye on her every now and then. I was like, what's going on? Roxy didn't come out. I hope she's all right. You know, I'm sure you were happy, hoping that.
Why would I be happy if the guinea pig is gone?
Because knowing you, that's like one less thing you don't have to worry about anymore.
That would be true.
So, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she's okay because she didn't come out at all. So this morning, I saw her, came out. I was like, oh yes, Roxy's still alive. Guys, seriously, I was so happy to see her. Like, I felt like I wanted to hug her, you know, she's family. 2 years now. We had her for 2 years. And I was a little bit worried about the fact that she didn't come out at all. And I was like hoping that she was okay. And when she came out, I was really happy. And the girl was like, Mommy, what's wrong? I was like, Roxy is alive. You know, she came out and get her food and her drinks. Man, it was just like a blissful moment. I was happy to see my guinea pig. Okay. I was happy.
The only thing I got to say about this guinea pig, she's the third one.
The fourth one.
No, she's the third one. Anyway, I lost count. The others, now that I don't know how many there were, they passed. I mean, one lasted less than a year.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She's the third one.
And another one soon after passed. This one?
She's a hardcore.
She's a fighter.
She's a firecracker.
I mean, I know, yes, it's an extra burden on me to go and clean her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She is a survivor.
She is.
I must say.
She is.
As much as I don't like the guinea pig.
You do like her.
She's a survivor.
You do like her.
Anyways,
you
that's
do
all I'm
like
gonna say
her.
about this
Listen,
guinea pig.
you do like her, babe. I don't care what you said. You like her. Even though I have to get on you to make sure you clean her on a regular schedule, but it's still a struggle for you. But I think you do care for her.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Yeah, she's a family member, so we all love her. So guys, the topic of the day is, as you guys know, we talk a lot about love here on this channel, but today we decided to go a little bit different. Let's talk about parenting. Since we have 2 kids and we've been parents for
9 years.
9 years. And we wanted to share some of these great tips with you guys. Like, you know, whether if you are modern parents or old school parents.
And we'll share some some experience.
Good
Some experience we've had being raised by our parents.
Yes.
Very different than today. We can say that those experiences makes us who we are.
Yes.
Today. So they're not all bad, but man, they're unusual.
Those experience meaning a lot of whooping, okay?
Yes.
A lot of whooping. So yeah, so we talking about how we are, we're not no parents. No, 9 years is not considered new.
I don't think we can be considered new anymore.
No. We have quite a bit of experience.
Then again, you're going to be parenting your child until they're like 50. So 9 years is like tiny compared to what's left.
Right. Yes.
Well, you won't be parenting your child until they're 50, but in early 20s.
I might say, let's say that parenting is like the most important, and it can also be very difficult, right? It can be a handful when you're raising kids, whether if it's boys or girls. It's a handful.
It is.
And I know sometimes you wonder, is there like some kind of a book or a manual that we can go over to tell me what to do, how to raise my kids to be a better kid or a good kid?
Well, we all wish there was a manual given with our children.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as parents, not having a manual allows you to find your own way. Mm-hmm. And there's so many resources available for us to read up on different tactics, different ways, different approach to raise a child. Learn them. Because I think when we are given a child or several children, we are also given the responsibility to make the best human beings out of them.
Right.
Now, what we choose to do with that responsibility, obviously, it's up to us.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But it can be difficult.
Yes. I mean, it was like hoping, okay, after you give birth to a baby, and the doctor come by and says, okay, Mrs. Estimable, here's a manual on how to raise your child to be the best
Raising
child
a child
ever.
101. Or child care for dummy.
Barnes and Nobles or Amazon.
There's a lot of resources available for a child to find best way to raise child.
Yes.
But you know what? New parents, you already have enough in your plates.
A lot.
Yes, you may have a little bit of time to read, but man, sometime that time you want to take it to rest.
For real. You do. So babe, based on your experience, what do you think you are, or what do you think we are? Do you feel like we are modern parents or old school parents? Okay.
Well, let's. I think me personally, I'm geared towards modern, but there's certain things in the way that, well, people consider themselves moderns, that they do things. I don't agree, because it's important to give a child a strong foundation. It's important to have a strong connection with your child, but it seems like many parents are just letting devices do that part for them. That I disagree. I mean, I also disagree with people that came from the old days.
Yes.
Physical punishment was like the thing. My mother. I think some child gets to a place. Sometimes you got to get physical with them, but I don't think it should be the main and the only approach. I think children has the ability to understand stuff. You can take the approach, the communication and conversation approach
at the level,
at their level, to help them make sense of things.
Right.
Children do things sometimes because they don't understand.
Right.
And as parents, well, I've seen parents, we're good at giving instructions, or we're good at giving guidance, but with no reasoning behind why. Don't cross the street. Why?
You might get hit by a car.
So, right?
Or you might get hit by a car.
But we can help the child understand the safety behind me telling them, look both ways before you cross the street. Right?
Absolutely.
Or don't talk to boys. Why? Because I said so.
That's right.
I don't think I'm old school, but I don't think I'm crazy modern either. I think I look for the best way to give my child the best upbringing.
Yes.
And I think you do the same thing as well.
I do. I do, but I think I'm a little bit of old school ish kind of, you know, because I think I do make sure that I give my girls a little bit of what my mom gave me, you know, like which is the whooping ish.
So what makes the old school old school? I mean,
well, there's certain things that old school people do, right?
What do they do?
I'm very, I like you said, I think we are very modern parents because we do allowances. We help our children know that the benefits of money, that's something that our parents didn't get a chance to really teach us about money. We make sure that we let them know, okay, you know, this is what you get if you do 1 through 5 for the week. So you get this much money. If you make sure you make your bed, you do the dishes, you do this, you do that. So you allowing the kids to gain by doing certain things. But I don't think old school parents do that.
Every Christmas, they'll give you a gift.
Listen, I feel like old school parents will tell you, I'm allowing you to live here. So
I've heard that. Well, we're talking about allowances.
I'm allowing you to live here for free.
Put a roof over your head. What?
You know, I give birth to you in this.
But you know what? Many parents.
I give birth to you.
Many parents, and I can't speak for every parent, and I only know a handful of them, but
yes,
many people think that their responsibility to a child is to put food on the table, make sure that there's running water in the house so you can shower.
Yeah.
Get you registered to go to school.
Yeah.
There's a bus. You can get on the bus every morning.
That's it.
And give you a roof over your head.
Yeah, these 3 things.
I don't need to see you. I don't need to ask you how school was.
Right.
If you have a question, don't even think about asking me because I just don't have the time for it.
And that's what, to me, I just don't like when parents do that. Right? You're a dad. Let's say, for example, you're a dad and your daughter, your son is home. You don't go in their room and ask them, hey, how was your day? You know, what did you do in school? Or how can we communicate? You know, it doesn't matter if the kids is 5 or 15. You still need to put some time aside to talk to your kids. Yes, I appreciate you work, you know, to...
And feed me.
I appreciate you doing all that. But I don't think this is all that you need to do for me. I think there's more to it than just that.
I agree. There should be more. But for you to do more, you have to understand the importance of doing more. Many parents thinks that if you eat, you sleep, you have clean clothes, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
And many of them, that's all they were ever given. So this is coming from what they know.
It's like past generations, you know, next to the next generations, basically.
But think of when we had our first child. Our parents were there guiding us on some of the things to do. Right. And it's there. And we passed on the knowledge that we've had. Not that there's never any, well, for most cases, there's no ill intent behind how our parents behave. I think every parents love their child to a certain extent. Now, some of them cannot express it. Mm-hmm. You know, there's parents that just can't find it in themselves to tell this child, I love you, or I'm proud of you. It's just difficult. And part of that is because it's never been said to them, and they can't internalize it themselves to even say it to someone else. Right. It's important. It's important to give a child the best environment, including your presence. Right. Either it's a mom or the father. I know there are households where there's one parent raising a child. I know that's even more challenging. Mm-hmm. Is that one parent is the father, the mom, the breadwinner, and everything else this child needs. Yeah. In those cases, some things are considered luxury. Right. You can't give like time, for instance, when you find a parents having to work 2 jobs to raise a child, it's difficult for the parents to have the time to go out to all the soccer games and all the recitals at the schools.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. Sometimes the kids kind of feel like, okay, you never had time to be at my games, or you're never there for me. And they don't understand the fact that if you are a single parent, it can be tough for you to be both sides, right? So, and I think too, that's when communication comes, when the parents really have to let the kid know, okay, mommy is doing this because mommy has to do this to put, to put food on the table because you don't have a dad or because dad is not here, or vice versa. If it's the dad, you just got to make sure you let the kid know this is why I'm doing this. And eventually, I'll be able to attend your game. But all these things are important. Communicate with your children. Like, how bad could that be? How hard could that be?
And that's one thing people that takes sometimes I don't think they elected to take the traditional way of raising child. I think many of us that takes that route is because that's how it was for us coming up.
Yes.
And we kind of follow the same thing. We never saw the importance of our parents talking to us or having that interaction with us. So when we brought our child up, we don't see the importance of having that interaction with them.
Right.
So it's carried from one generation to the next.
And you absolutely right. And I think that's another thing that you can't even tell your parents. Like, for instance, if your parents is talking to you, you're not supposed to look at them in the eyes. That's something old school parents will tell you that's very disrespectful. And sometimes you get so confused. Like, you're here in this country, they tell you gotta be able to look at the person dead in the eye because that determines you respect or you not afraid of them. So it's just that it's hard. That's one thing that my husband and I will make sure that we do. When we talk to the girls, we'll let them know, hey, don't look down.
Looking at me. I said, look at me. I'm talking to you.
Don't look down. Look at me in the eyes. But old school parents, you can't do that. That means, I don't even know what it means.
Well, a lot of parents would interpret that as being disrespectful. When you look at them in the eyes, it's like you're trying to intimidate them. But this little thing.
But deep down, you're not. You just want to make sure you look at the person that's talking to you. In your little mind, you think it's right, but in their mind, it's wrong because that's how they were raised, right? So, and when you have an opinion, or if you are talking back to your parents, that's like, it's a no, boo. Like, my husband and I were having this conversation earlier while he was helping my daughter with her homework. And I was like, in the olden days, you would not be able to do that to your dad. You would get a smack on the face or a smack on your butt.
But she called me out on something that was true.
And that's the thing with old school parents. You cannot tell them they are wrong, right?
No, parents are never wrong.
Parents, my daughters, we do something, they're like, Mom, I think it's, this is the way we should do it. And I would go with what she said.
If it makes sense.
If it makes sense, yes. But why is the old school parents, like the old ways, that is a problem if you talk back?
Well,
where you're not being disrespectful. Okay. When you're not. If I ask you questions, I need you to give me an answer. But there's a way that you want to make sure that you say what's on your mind. You state your opinion over something that was said. But to the parents back then, it's like you can't do that.
A child can't have an opinion.
Voice your opinion. We make sure we tell our daughter that.
Oh yes,
our daughters know to voice their opinion.
I tell my kids, or I train them to. If you see something, you want to say something about it, say it. If it's wrong, together we'll fix it. If it's right, then we do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And it starts in the home. Because if I teach my child to be afraid to speak to anything, what do you think that's going to happen when they get out there?
And when they're in school?
People would walk over them.
Yeah.
So having an opinion is matter. And those are some of the things that, as you do it early on, you become very comfortable expressing yourself in the face of anyone.
Right.
This world has its challenges. And if you don't learn to hold your head up early on, it's going to be difficult for you later because people would walk over you. Mm-hmm. So yes, and I'm raising girls more than ever. It's important that they come out strong, and I'm going to do whatever I can for them to. So yes, this part of it, I'm modern. I'm like 100% modern. I want them to be able to speak their mind and to voice their opinion.
What you gotta say.
And not care about anyone judging them.
Right. Amen.
As yes, on that sense, I'm completely new school. You know, they may challenge me on things. That's okay. If they challenge me on things, and you know, the oldest one, the 9-year-old one, is already at the stage where she can formulate her thoughts. Mm-hmm. She can rationalize a number of things, and we can talk about it.
A lot.
Sometimes at a level that I think is a little bit beyond for her, but she comprehends me. So we have the conversation. And I will continue to encourage her to do so. And yes, I'm not a weak parent. I can hold a debate if it leads to that. And I can search for stuff. I know that I don't know everything, but I can get answers. Right. Because one thing with child, you can never let them think they know more than you do. Because they will police you.
They will. It's some time to be asking me. And I'm not afraid to say, oh, no, I don't know the answer.
Yes, but
I'm not afraid to say that. You know, I don't think I'm being a bad parent to say that, hey, let's make sure that I do my research and then we'll get through it later tonight. You know, or when daddy gets home, we work on it together. Like, if you don't know the answer, don't be afraid to look it up yourself and let them know.
Do some research.
Right.
And it's important for you to be able to properly parent your child, because we live in a world that's changing by the second when it comes to technology.
Yes.
And these kids, they pick these things up like in a sec.
Yes.
If as a parent you don't keep up with it, and this is where being modern is important, because you got to keep up with what's happening around you.
Yeah.
Because your kids are going to be involved in it. And the last thing you want is your child come up with something and you're wondering, what is this?
And you have no idea what it is, right? You have no idea what it is.
So learn to keep up. And that's one thing, you know, thinking yourself as a modern parent, you got to get involved with, you got to understand what's happening around you, the things that will be important in your children's life. Right. This way you can stay relevant, because the moment that you become irrelevant to your child, they will go beyond, they will go like to other places and other people and look at you as, oh yeah, you're just there.
Right.
And it's already happening. There are a child that the important decisions, they will not discuss it with their parents, because the parents won't even understand.
Yeah, I think it depends also at the child, if the child is old enough to reach out to a friend, right? Because a lot of kids, what they do nowadays is just like, well, instead of asking mom and dad, let me just call one of my friends and talk to them or ask them the questions. But I feel like, though, you know, as modern parents, you want to make sure you're there for your children. You want your child to be your best friend, right? And you want to be that mom or that dad that your daughter, your son is so comfortable to come to you for anything. Anything. I told my daughters all the time, I don't care what it is. Tell me. If it's something that you know that I'm going to be very upset about, I still want you to tell me the truth, because I want you to tell me whatever it is. So yes, technology is taking over. You want to make sure that you stay on top of your game. Like, your children needs you, right? And
yes,
that's important.
Yes, and it's important to make a clear distinction between me being upset with what you did, but I still love you as your parent. Mm-hmm. You know, never let the child thinks that you being upset is taken away from your love for them. I still love you. I'm still gonna hug you. I'm still gonna do things for you, but I'm gonna let you know what you did.
What's wrong?
I didn't like it, and it's wrong.
Right.
And we're gonna fix it.
And that's when we're gonna whoop your butt.
And this is where the concept of best friend, as parents, we want to be very cool with our child, but we want to make sure that they still know that we are their parents.
Listen. You do something wrong, you break something, you either gonna get a flick from me or a whooping. I'm your best friend, but keep in mind, I'm also your parents. So my husband may not be whooping you. Like, that's what I said in the beginning. I think I do have a little bit of old school on me, because I do believe that when a child gets a little bit of a whooping, they get it right the next time. Okay,
well, disciplining your child is different. Is important.
But whooping in the days, babe, did help. Okay.
Oh yes.
Listen, how
There's
many
many things I didn't
got?
do, many crazy trouble that I didn't get into is because I knew that if I did,
You
I
and
would
your
have gotten a
brother,
crazy
right?
whooping. Yes, I've gotten several whooping, and I turned out to be okay. So yes, I like last year, 2020. I at the beginning of the year, I made a commitment to take a different approach on how I deal with the kids. I stopped getting upset with things. I mean, I've had lengthy conversation with them over things that they do. You know, conversation to help them understand what they did, where I stand with it, how upset I am,
Right.
what my expectations are, and what they're willing to do from this point on, and so forth. So we've had numerous conversations.
Lengthy conversation.
There's been a few things. It's been several things that happened over the years, and yes, we sat down, we talked about them. I understand that the children. I mean, one was 8 and the other one was they're 5. But if I look back at those we've had some very interesting conversation, and I can see my older daughter knows that. Okay, this is daddy. This is the approach daddy takes. Daddy and I, we're gonna sit and talk.
This is mommy.
Mommy takes a different approach.
Very different.
And that's been. I mean, you've been exhausting yourself. She's been yelling. And
a lot of yelling.
And no, I haven't done any of that.
I've been doing the yelling and the whooping. Okay, the kids are home with me 24/7. They break stuff. I whoop them and I put them in timeout. My husband. Yes.
Now, that's one thing I used to flick my girls on in the arm when they do something just so that I stopped. 2020, I didn't flick them once. Yeah, there was that one day they broke something in the
They
house.
broke a glass.
I mean, which could have turned into a disaster. But thank God they didn't. So when I got to the house that day, my wife was like, was like, man, I'm going to flip.
I was like, listen. Imagine your kids broke a very expensive glass, a very expensive.
It was the tabletop of living room.
Oh my God!
Furniture.
And I kid you not, this is how much the kids know their mom pretty well. They both started crying and put themselves in timeout. And by the time I got to them, they were both in tears, like slobbing and stuff all over. One was in my closet, the other one was in Dad's closet, and they were just in tears. Like, and I said to them, "Wait until Daddy get home. You're gonna get it."
I surprised everybody.
Girl, let me tell you,
it was on purpose.
Daddy get home, and Daddy said,
I'm glad they didn't get hurt. I saw the piece of glass all over the living room. And I'm like,
this is what happened.
I went in and took him and checked to make sure that they didn't cut anything.
But I want you to know this. And I was like, what the heck? I want you to whoop them. Like, they broke the glass, and all he said is like, he was so calm and collective. And I was like, over here going crazy, thinking that when Daddy get home, they're gonna get like more on top of what I gave them. Girl, bye.
Well, you know, I have
Daddy surprised me that day, and I think that's how it's been ever since. If the kids do something, he just like, and I would be like, babe, listen, you gotta talk to the girls. You know, I've done my part. I do what I gotta do. I do what I need to do. I talk to them. I discipline them, but I don't discipline them like the way that he does, because he talked to them. He make them realize that what you did was wrong. I'm more like yelling and screaming.
And listen, I know you guys don't know our kids, but we have. I know parents sometimes will say things about their kids because it's their kids, but our kids makes us proud every day.
We have 2 amazing girls.
And every day we thank God for having them the way we are and for giving us the ability to actually raise them the way we are. Mm-hmm. However, kids are still kids. Yes. It still needs to be disciplined. And this is where I think some modern parents may be lacking. Mm-hmm. We not disciplining our kids in ways to help them realize how bad what they did was. Right. You know, sometimes you send a kid on timeout, you know, or you take away their phones or whatever it was. but without even really help the child understand what they did, and this is the reason why what they did was wrong.
Right.
If you don't do that, yes, they're going to be without a phone for a week. But what did they learn? They just learned, if I did this, you're just going to take away my phone.
Or my iPad.
And this is where
TV.
When you take the time and help the child understand, it prepares them for the future. Because what's going to happen next time something comes up, they'll be able to rationalize, okay, what's the proper actions for me to take? Now, don't fool yourself thinking that the first time something happened, the child is going to get it right away. No, it's an ongoing process because it's a behavior changing type of thing.
Right.
And it's also a mindset changing type of thing. As a parent, you have to stay consistent. You have to be very understanding, and you got to let them speak. I start with many of my conversation. Tell me what happened.
Mine is different. What did you do?
I mean, you asked the same thing, but yours is good. I sat with
Mine
them.
is very, very, very dramatic.
And I try not to have this conversation when they're upset.
Or when you're upset.
Or when I'm upset.
Right.
Is when you have conversation when you fuming, you never have the best conversation.
Right.
Calm down. You know, there's a saying that says when it happens, you got to deal with it right away. No. Maybe with grown-ups, but with a child, I want to get you when you are able to think.
Speaking of, I don't remember what the girls did, but it was a night and I was like really upset because I talk, I yelled, I scream. I think it's in us mothers. We have this thing that we just don't talk. We don't talk calmly, okay? We don't. I think God actually put this in us as mom. When a child does something, we gotta raise our voices or act a certain ways versus dad who just like so calm and collective and talk to the kids like what you did was wrong. No. That night, either one of the girls did something and I said, babe, are you not gonna talk to them? Oh, babe, it's bedtime. We'll wait until tomorrow. No. Why wait until tomorrow when they're gonna think, oh yeah, now it's okay. I can do it again. But if you talk to them the night of the thing happened, you make sure you talk to. And I think I did give my husband a hard time to the point where he went to the girls' room and told them, your mom said this is what you did. And this and this and this, like very calm and collective. That's how he talks to the girls. And I think that's just how he is. It's just his personality. And, I'm different when it comes to the way I talk to the girls. We hug and talk. But I also do. What did you do? But my husband is the calm one. Well, definitely.
It's a choice.
I'm modern. But I truly feel like he's more like the calm and collective type of parent.
We all have it in ourselves to be able to yell, right? I can yell, I can scream, I can get upset, but I choose not to. And I have very, very good reason why not. Because I don't want to lead the child into believing yelling is the best way of resolving things. Because and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but it's good to have that balance. And when there's the balance, it helps the child kind of like see both ways that things can get done.
Right.
But yeah, I can scream. Actually, there's no one in this house who can scream louder than I can, but I choose not to.
Yeah, you're right.
For very good reason.
You used to do that.
Because a child will pick up habits, behaviors, and ways to handle things based on what we do. And if we show them just one way, they will grow up thinking that's the only way.
Right. True.
And we live in a world where there's a million ways of doing one thing. Let the child understand there are choices. Now, I've been making choices. I make choices on we all make choices on everything we do. Sometimes we make the choice without even realizing the choice that we make.
Right.
Anger does not always have to express itself in loudness. I can be angry, but I can still be calm.
True.
I can speak to you firmly, and you'll know that I'm upset, but I don't have to scream. That's me. Right? That's me. Other people, we all have different ways we express ourselves, but it's important to understand our child will pick up things based on what we do. And yes. And sometimes this has nothing to do with being modern and being old school.
Right.
It's about choosing the way you want, the examples you want to portray for your child.
I want to mention this. This is so true, because one thing the girls did earlier was that while I was in the office doing my work and they were in the shower, and the girls, the oldest one said to the little one, something she said to her that sounded just like me. And I was so proud. And it was a lot of words, not just one sentence. It was a lot of words that sounded just like me. And I was like, oh my God, this is my little me. She picked up what I said and how I react. And this is exactly what you just said. The kids learn from what you do. And I was like, wow. And I went to the bathroom and I said, oh my God, Bree, you sound, your words were just what I said to you a few years ago or whatever. It's just because that they see what mommy said to them, and then now she's doing it to the little one. And they copycat. Then that's the thing. You want to set good example for them. You want to make sure that they are copying
what they see.
Right.
And the good stuff.
Right. But it was cute. It was so cute. I was like, wow. And I think too, babe, the things that we do, we don't really send our kids to like go to your room or go outside and play. We don't do that, And I think
they play outside, but that's not like as
outside
a punishment. Where? They play in the patio all the time. That's outside for them.
I thought you were talking about on the street.
No.
And to me, I feel like that's one thing with my girls. I gotta say this. I don't care what other parents do, but my girls love to grab their book, right? Like I was driving to my mom's house a couple of weeks ago, and they were both in the car. Instead of being on the iPad or tablet, they were reading a book, okay?
I believe if we're driving for 15 minutes to a place, there's no need you need to have a tablet with you.
And I don't think
for 15 minutes,
but the thing
play
is
with each other.
I don't think all girls are very attached to electronic stuff. They're not attracted to them. They're not like attached to them, I should say.
I've been against that.
You have. And I think that's the thing with modern parents nowadays. They're like, okay, here's the iPad, here's a tablet, leave me alone. Go do something, go watch something. And that's the thing where you don't spend time with your kids and you feel like the electronic is basically taking over the time that you need to spend with them. And sometimes you can't blame the kids for going in their room and be on either watch TV or on the iPad.
Yeah.
Because electronic is just take over.
Well, electronic doesn't take over because electronic will not pick themselves up. Electronic will not pick themselves up and introduce themselves in your home. You bring it into your home. See, as anyone who runs a household, you should be able to say what comes in and what doesn't come in. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, some of us will go with the authority and says, I'm the king of the castle. What I say go. If you can't follow my rule, then no.
Because I said so.
No, don't go that route.
It's my way or the highway. There's a lot.
No, listen, that little
do
power.
Do as I said, or
that little power that
do
you
as
have.
I say.
No, some parents do that. Do as I
say, but not as I do.
And one clear example is this. Don't tell your kids to lie to someone for you, because guess who they're gonna lie to next? You. They lie to you because you've already taught them it's okay to lie.
Right. I need to stop telling my daughters whenever someone call me that I'm not home. You've been saying that? I do say that crazy. Sometimes.
Anyway, but it comes down. When it comes to raising your child, you have to look at it from a point what I'm doing in the home or even outside of the home, because we interact with our children outside, and sometimes just by looking how a child acts, you can tell what's happening in the home.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. I know when our daughters early on used to go to the store and whatever they see, they want to buy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, those were the days. They would cry.
Man, we cut that out. I mean, it takes it takes holding your, holding on strong and not give in.
I think it stopped when that one time she actually sat on the floor at the store and cried her eyes out. I think it was Bree, and she was only 5 or 4. I don't remember. She was little. And I think my husband really had a good talk and didn't buy the toy.
No.
And he's like, I don't care how much you're going to cry blood or whatever. I'm not buying you the toy. If I said no, it's no.
And now she learns crying does not get me what I
But
want.
I'm the type of mom that says, you know what, baby, just get it for her. I'm that type. I'm very soft when it comes to get the kids' toys.
And all that does is tell the child that if I need to get something, all I have to do is go, yeah, you'll buy it. No, I don't play that game.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't play that game. And he doesn't play sleepover. He doesn't play sleepover. Like, you know how some parents sometimes will let the kids do a sleepover.
I don't
My
believe my
husband
child
don't
should be
believe.
sleeping at somebody else's place. No.
Like you say, your parents always say you don't sleep
Yeah,
outside.
my parents says you don't sleep outside. Not that you don't sleep outside, but you sleep at your parents' home.
At your parents'
And yes,
home.
that's me, like 100% old school.
Yes.
My kids will not go sleep at someone else's place.
I do believe it, unless if it's a grandma's house, and
Well, we'll all sleep together. If we leave you there, like we go out, we'll come pick you up.
Right.
In
right.
fact, we've never taken a vacation where we spend days out without having our kids with us.
Yes.
It's just
yes.
that's us being old school.
That's the old school.
My parents would not let me do any of that stuff. Now, granted, we weren't born. I wasn't born here, so that sleeping over at someone's place was not something that was common in our area. But like, go eat at someone's place, we don't do that.
Yeah, and we don't let our children do that either at our parents' house or uncle's house, and I mean our brother's house. And then that's it, family gatherings, yes. But besides that, no, we don't do sleepovers. We don't do. My husband don't really believe in play date. I mean, I kind of want the girls to do like.
No, I don't believe in play date. I think
you don't, baby. You like play date. No, we're not doing play date.
When did I say that?
You say that before. Come on, don't lie.
It's, with their cousins, you can get together and play. They have enough cousins. They have on my brother's side they have 3, and your brother's side they have 2. So they have family.
Yes.
Right? They can play with each other. And I'm cool with it.
But I do believe they have, the girls had play dates at the playground with friends from school.
They've gone to playgrounds,
but not like sleepover and do play dates at someone's house.
Their classmate from school, yeah, cool.
Yeah, play date can be fun. I don't think that's something that's bad.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, and this is where the old school is in me. There are certain things that I'm used to, and there's certain things that I'm not used to. And yes, if we go to the park, that parent is there, yes. But don't expect I'm going to sit there and chat with you while my kids play, because I'm not like that. Say hi to you and that's it. I interact with people, but there are things that if I doesn't plan for it, don't expect that I'm going to get like so engaged and stuff.
Right. And true. And I think as new parents also, we do apologize to our children, and we do let them know, babe, I'm sorry, this is something, because I think with the old school parents, they see it as a way of,
it's a weakness. If you ever tell your child you're sorry, or if you ever admit that you did something wrong, you become weak in the face of your child.
And they know deep down inside that the child is right. You could be like, listen, see your age right now, you sit and talk to your mom or your dad, and you know that what you're telling them is right. And they know that deep down inside that you're right. But they just won't tell you that you're right because they're old school.
I think our parents, where we are right now, I think we old enough where our parents understand. And our parents' values, I'd say our parents' values our opinions. Now we're not children anymore.
But to our parents, we always remain babies.
But I believe our parents treats us at this point as adults. They can understand that we can have an opinion and we can help them see things, which is great.
I don't know how to be an adult to my mom.
I
I'm
don't
her
know,
baby.
but
I'm
your
my
mother
mom's
do see
baby.
you. You may see yourself to your mom as a baby, but your mother does see you as an adult.
Sometimes I wonder, because the way we talk and the way she treats me, like I'm still 5. And that's just like,
No, when was the last time your mother whooped you?
Well, my mom never whooped me to begin with.
Then if you were 5, she would be whooping you.
My mom did something to me back home where she actually, that was like the worst punishment of my life. Okay.
What was it?
A chair on my neck. That's like, if you were here, Mom, you would have been in jail. You know that, right? That's like,
really? No, my parents
my
never
mom,
get that. My parents will give you.
My
a
mom
with
is
a
like
belt or something.
hardcore, like when it comes to the whooping. My brother got
a chair on your
my
neck?
brother got a lot of whooping. Listen, my brother had gotten so many, like those. Ooh, I don't know what you call those guys. What do they call them? They have a name of them. I can't remember what they
I
call.
don't know what they call them in English.
With blocks on
I don't think
his
they have them here
hands.
either.
My brother's worst punishment was he went somewhere. He didn't tell my mom about it. And when he got home, it was nighttime. It was dark. My mom was worried. I was worried. My cousin was worried. It was just the 4 of us. And when my brother got home that night, boy, let me tell you, it was like the worst punishment. I don't know where she get all these ideas from. To be honest, I don't know where she.
They may have been done to her, so she remembered. Okay, I did something when I was little, and that's what they did to me. So I'm gonna do it to you.
Blocks on your hands and blocks on your head, like.
What was she trying to kill your brother or something? My parents never went that crazy. My mom's gonna whoop you. She pull out a belt and she whoop you with it. That's it.
No, my mom would be on. She would be on that.
Nah.
No.
That's barbaric. A block on your head? Man, I gotta talk to your brother and tell him I'm glad that your mother didn't kill him. but back home there's unusual punishment that parents do to give the kids. If it was here, then they probably would be incarcerated or something. But that's how they knew how. And one thing that's important, and don't ever punish your child when you angry.
Mom.
Or lay hands on your child when you're angry. Because we all have gotten that moment where we get so angry that we'll do things, and afterwards we thought about it, and like
this made me laugh. I mean, made me cry.
Your brother's punishment?
Yes.
I'd like to see that. I still can't see. How old was he?
It had to be 15 or 16.
So blocks. I'm talking about cinder blocks, the thing they built houses with.
Yes.
So on each hand.
Yes.
And one on his head. So he balanced that? Was he like standing?
He was on his
kneeling
knee.
He was on okay. So
he was on his knee on this like on something.
So your mother picked up the blocks and put them on his hands? Because I don't see him picking up his own block and put it on his head.
Call him tomorrow and ask him. This was like the worst punishment ever.
I gotta talk to your brother and ask him, how did he do it?
Listen, as a kid, you do so many like crazy stuff, like take your parents' car driving around, or take your brothers and go places so far. When you get home, you get a whooping. You told me you used to do that.
Yeah, well, I took the car because I contemplated about taking my dad's car because there was a car parked, and there's days that I dreamt about getting in the car, and I'm glad I didn't, because the way I was thinking that I could drive the car was completely different than how cars actually drive.
Right.
So I'm glad I didn't, because I probably wouldn't be here if I did.
Right.
But the reason why I didn't is because I know my mom would whoop me. So I never, got the courage to actually go and take that. But I thought about it several times. I mean, we've done stuff.
I mean, every kids, yes.
I've done things. That's part of being kids. Now, Now I look.
If you don't do something wrong, then there's something wrong with you as a kid. Because you can't be too perfect.
Well, you're lying to your parents. It's like you're doing the wrong thing without them knowing.
Right.
Yeah, we all have been kids and we all have done things. And now I've had a chance to look back at some of the things that I've done, and I could see why my parents were so concerned I've been playing with live electrical cords since I was little. I could have been zapped and died. There are things that I did, my parents never knew that I did them. And although my mom was one of the most overprotective parents you can come across, you know, believe that I'm from Haiti. We've lived near water. I never knew how to swim because she would not let us get in the water. Yet, we still find ways to do little things that could have put us in danger. So I appreciate a lot of things that our parents did. Yes,
So you feel like your parent is like the overprotecting parent?
Yeah, my mother was very
extreme.
And rightfully so. She was by herself. My dad was out of the country. My dad left Haiti when I was 3 and my brother was just a baby. She had to be. Mm-hmm. She had a responsibility to look after us. And she had to be. So now I look back, she had every reasons to be protective. And I thank her for being so. Coming up in the environment that we came up in, things could have happened to us.
Right.
I could have been gone. And thank God she was there to guide me the best she could, although we snuck that and did things. But luckily, we made it with her guidance. And my brother and I, sometimes we sit back and we kind of talked about some of the things we did. And we said, man, that was something. And we're trying to imagine how worried she was, because as a kid, we didn't understand. But now I saw that. Yeah. Now, she rose now. My mom is old school. Obviously, she rose us the way she knew how to. But I don't think it was bad.
Right. I mean, I think it's till now you realize that, right? But back then, when you were a kid, you didn't really think that what she was doing was right. You're like, man, why can't this lady let me go play? Or why can't she let me do this and let me do that? Because you didn't know the consequences. So that's the thing with kids, right? They don't know these consequences. They don't know that if I do this, my mom or something's going to happen to me. That's why sometimes we're very overprotective of our kids. When they do things, we're like, be careful. We thinking of the bad thing, but they're thinking of the fun thing because we just like our parents in a way.
So at the end, it doesn't matter whether you're old school or new school. I think the big question is, are you raising your child the best way you know how to? Are you willing to learn new ways? Are you willing to do whatever is necessary to give your child the best chance at being the best human being they can be? And that's all that matters. If you whoop your child in ways that will not hurt them, but will discipline them to help them understand, who am I to say you can't? I choose not to. Right. But if this works for you and it helps you raise, a child that can be a success in this world, why not? Now, don't go to jail and don't do things that will hurt the child, because there could be a fine line between disciplining and abusing.
Yes, yes.
Know where that line is and stay on the good side. So whether you consider yourself traditional or modern, it makes no difference at the end of the day. Do what's best for your child and continue to learn, continue to grow as a parent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You'll learn something every day.
Every day.
And keep learning.
Yes.
Keep learning and keep having kids. No, don't have any kids. Kids are expensive. If you don't have
you
any,
go tell my mom that.
If you had a few
and the church
you
people,
want more, why not?
Yeah, if you can afford them.
So everybody, thank you for joining us today. Today was a little bit of a different topic, but I'm sure we've shared a whole lot with you to help you get an idea of how we kind of do things.
Yes.
And hopefully that helps you in some way. Mm-hmm. My approach is a bit unusual based, according to how we normally do things.
Right.
But she understands it and she appreciates it. And I understand how she does things and I appreciate it because in the household, we've set that balance. So thank you for joining us today. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you can be notified when these videos are coming out. Mm-hmm. Any shout out for your parents this week?
No, shout out to our parents.
Yeah, shout out to my parents this week. I know my mom's been watching.
Yes.
So, Mommy, thanks for watching. I know my dad's been watching too. I know I've seen you watch. And Gino, I know you've been watching. That's my brother. So, hey, everybody, who's been watching us. Thank you. We appreciate you. And we'll keep these contents coming. If there's anything you'd like us to discuss, definitely leave it in the comments below. And give us a like.
Or email us.
Let's communicate.
Yes.
Again, thank you. We love you. Peace.
Bye.